Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another monthly movie challenge. It's December already, Connor. I gave away my co-host too soon. It's December already, man, and we are talking about Christmas movies. If my entire set and attire didn't give that away, I love Christmas movies. I do this every year anyway. I watch a ton of Christmas movies, like starting December 1st all the way up to Christmas, and we just happen to be doing these challenges these last couple months, and it's been working out and it's been a lot of fun. So like I said, as I already spilled the beans, I've got my regular co-host with me, Connor Nielsen here, ready to talk about some Christmas movies. Dude, are you excited?
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Tinsel and holly and fruitcake and candy canes, right? Here we go. It's the most wonderful time of the year, according to a few people, I think you included. And, this is interesting because when it comes to the Christmas movie season, I am severely limited in my education on Christmas movies. Every year my brother and I say, this is the year where we're finally going to watch all the classics or watch enough of the classics. And every year we don't. So I can say now that I got this challenge, I can finally say I will be putting a dent in that stack.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I could help, because I have seen, well, I say I've seen a lot of Christmas movies. I've got a lot that I haven't seen. As you'll see today, I've got a pretty big list, a couple addendums at the beginning of the show here. I have 24, Connor has 12, so I'm going to go every two for his one. But that sounds crazy, but that's actually because 8 of them are shorts on my list. So I'm not going to be watching full-length, feature-length movies every single day. But yeah, so 8 shorts, and I like 16 movies on my list, and then Connor's got 12, and then we're just going to go back and forth on these. And then the other thing is, I'm only going to be talking about the movies that I've not seen before, because my wife and I have a few that we watch like every year, like It's a Wonderful Life, we watch on the 24th, and Miracle on 34th Street, and we want to watch Love Actually. She likes to watch every year. So we have a few that we watch every year. But I'm not putting those on this list. I'm just doing the ones that I have not seen before. As my cat tries to rip out my microphone cord. Hopefully she didn't. but that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth. And I think all of these are movies you haven't seen either, right, Connor?
That is true. I have seen Elf. I have seen Home Alone, Home Alone 2, and It's a Wonderful Life. And beyond that, I mean, I've seen a few of the more recent. Every year there's like a big family Christmas movie like Meet the Coopers or Love the Coopers and Almost Christmas and stuff like that, which I've watched that when those come out. But outside of that, I've basically seen no Christmas movies. So this is all mostly new to me. I would say there's an asterisk next to one of these movies, but I'll get to that when we get to there.
Okay, yeah, because I remember because you asked me for some recommendations for your list, and you basically told me that you said all I've seen is It's a Wonderful Life and Elf. Just pretend that's all I've seen. So I made some recommendations, and hopefully you like those, because I like the ones that I recommended. But anyway, let's not waste too much time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. What is your number one, sir? And I'm just going in chronological, like, release order, just so you know.
I started doing that, and then I think somewhere along the line I failed. But my first one, so basically what I decided to do was, with all of these, I decided to go on recommendations from friends and family. So this first one comes to me from my friend. You may or may not know him. He lives in Atlanta, actually. His name is JD.
Wait, what?
And he recommended this movie called The Shop Around the Corner, directed by Ernst Lubitsch. And actually, Ernst Lubitsch is one of those filmmakers that I've been meaning to get more into. He gave us To Be or Not to Be, Ninotchka, Clooney Brown, Heaven Can Wait. he of the golden age, he made a lot, and this is a movie he made starring James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. This is one of those iconic kind of classic rom-coms, and it's Christmas themed, and I'm excited to finally watch it. I love Jimmy Stewart, and I'm finally gonna open the book on Ernst Lubitsch.
Sweet, dude. I love that movie when I watched it. I watched that for the first time last Christmas when I was laid up with pneumonia, and I just got HBO Max, and I was watching a bunch of old classic Christmas movies that I hadn't seen yet, and it's really good. I love the banter. I love the writing. The group. It's like kind of like The Office, but a little like convenient store where they sell, not convenience store, but like a little shop, obviously, on the side, and like all of the employees have really good banter with each other, and it's pretty good romance. I love Jimmy Stewart also, and it's also, if you've seen You've Got Mail from the 90s, it's basically a remake of that, The Shop Around the Corner, and my wife didn't know that, and I was watching it. She loves that movie, and I was like maybe 20 minutes from the end of the movie, and she's like, holy crap, this is a remake. This is what You Got Mail is. It's exactly You've Got Mail. So it's the same thing, except instead of email from the 90s, it's letters. But yeah, that's a great movie. I hope you like it. Basement Blues in the chat. Well, great name, by the way. It's Basement Blues spelled like Blu-ray. He says he started watching his Christmas movies on the 1st, and they're being selected from an advent calendar. That's cool.
That's a really cool idea.
I wonder if it's a website. If it's a website, tell us what it is, because that's awesome. I want to check that out.
I guess I have 12, and I decided to go with 12 because of the 12 days of Christmas. I don't know what the 12 days of Christmas are, if that's like, up to like the 12 leading up to and including the 25th, or what. I just know that there are 12 days of Christmas, so that's the motivation behind how many I picked.
Yeah, you're actually the reason I have 24. I had 23, but I felt awkward because you were doing 12, so I was like, let me at least do something Christmassy. And I'm going to see what... the 24th one that I added isn't streaming anywhere, so I'm going to see if I can get my hands on it, but someone in the chat actually recommended it, so I'm going to try to get my hands on it if I can. But my number one, like I said, 8 of these are shorts. These 2 are both shorts. They're really old. I've talked about him a lot. Georges Méliès is my number 1, which is all the way back from 1900. It is called The Christmas Dream, and it's only 4 minutes. It's just kind of like, I'm assuming like a lot of Georges Méliès films, like kind of like plays in different sets, but we just kind of cut through different scenes. This is the poster they have for it on Letterboxd, but it looks cool. I love Georges Méliès' style. I love all the cool sets that he puts up, and the manic people running around everywhere. That's kind of his signature thing. And yeah, it looks interesting. I'm excited to check out another one of those. And it is on YouTube right now for free. And then my second short is called The Insect's Christmas. It is from 1913. I saw that it was the oldest Christmas stop motion movie. It got to be one of the earliest stop motion movies too. 1913, super early. Look at that. That looks kind of creepy and interesting.
Look at that little frog.
Yeah. It says, a Father Christmas ornament climbs down from a decorated tree and goes to the forest. There he creates and decorates a Christmas tree for the forest creatures. He then invites all the insects along with the friendly frog to come and enjoy the gifts he was prepared and to celebrate Christmas. So just a 7-minute little short. I'll probably watch that one with my son. I love stop motion. I've actually become more and more interested in stop motion this past year. I've been watching a lot of stuff. So sounds cool. I'm going to check it out. Those are my quick first 2. Like I said, those I'll just be able to knock out. I'll probably knock out a few of these shorts all at the same time. So, what's your next one?
I should have known Georges Méliès would have a Christmas short, and you would pick that.
Oh no, you're right.
Known.
Oh, Karel Zaman has a Christmas short too that I forgot to put on this list, and I need to. Oh wait, did I? Oh no, it's on the list. I did. I should have known. Okay. I wouldn't have forgotten.
I would hope so. All right, so my next is another recommendation from the mysterious JD who lives in Atlanta. who's a friend of mine. You may or may not know him, but he recommended this one to me.
You make
This is,
that
again,
joke,
one
but
of
I don't
those-
even. None of my new viewers probably don't even know what my actual name is, so they might not even know because I never say my name. I just say your name. So
DJ, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, this next pick is, I think, one of those like granddaddy of all Christmas movies, kind of Christmas movies. It's always up there with It's a Wonderful Life. It is the original 1947 A Miracle on 34th Street. This was remade in the mid 90s, I think, by John Hughes.
yeah, and with John Hammond himself. And
right,
Matilda.
which I think
Here it is. Here's the original. So glad you're checking this out. This is so good. I love this movie.
Yeah, this is a movie that I feel like this play after the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yes.
Every
And it's
every
appropriate
year.
because this movie starts with the Thanksgiving Day parade, and it's all about Macy's, and it's the perfect. So that a lot of people watch this on Thanksgiving, yeah. But it is a Christmas movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I really don't know a lot about this, except it's about a guy who is like a Macy's Santa Claus, and he may be like lying and saying he's the real Santa Claus or something. But what I really know about this is like celebrated as like one of the great Christmas films of all time, and it was nominated for Best Picture. So that's
Yeah, which is awesome. Because Christmas, like you said, the Christmas movies we get these days are terrible, and they're like comedies or like just R-rated raunchy like silly things. Like we don't get Best Picture noms for Christmas movies anymore. So yeah, I am excited to see you check that out. I love that one, and that's one of the best Santa Claus performances. So I am excited to see what you think of that one. My next two are also shorts. Let me cough. Sorry, my voice is leaving me. Hopefully I can make it through this. So I got two more shorts here. I don't know if you've heard of this one. This one's called Peace on Earth. It is apparently in a like not too distant future where humans are wiped off the planet. There's no more humans, and it's an animated movie. And this grandpa squirrel comes walking in singing Peace on Earth, singing Joy to the World, the part that says Peace on Earth, and goodwill to men. And then his two grandkids ask him what men are, and then he explains men to them. And it's like a sci-fi warning story. I guess not really science fiction, but same type of message where men have we've obliterated ourselves. We no longer exist because of war, and it's apparently pretty bleak. It's only 9 minutes, but it sounds interesting. And I read a lot about how it's still very appropriate today. And it was nominated for Academy Award Best Short Subject. I don't know if that was an older thing. This is from 1939, all the way back there. And it's apparently still pretty relevant, so that's really interesting. Whoa. And then the next one is from Karel Zaman, 11 minutes, 1945. It is called A Christmas Dream also, so I'm assuming he's calling back to Georges Méliès with that one, because he already did that a lot in his film. His other films. It says, Christmas has arrived as a little girl and her parents enter the room. The little girl finds all kinds of toys under the Christmas tree. She immediately throws her old doll aside and starts playing with her new dolls. But that night, she has a dream. Or maybe it isn't a dream. Whoa! So, that's interesting. I love Karel Zaman, and it is on Criterion Channel right now. So that is interesting. I didn't mention Peace on Earth, I think is available. It's not on YouTube. It is available on... What's the other YouTube? Vimeo? Yeah, it is available on Vimeo. So, still free. Okay. So all those you can find your hands on if they sound interesting to you. And they're all pretty short.
You know, that's the shorts in the holiday season. That's something that I do kind of associate shorts more, I guess, with Christmas time than any other season, because there are like the Rankin Bass, which I guess are technically feature length because they're like, what, 50 to 55
Yeah, they're pretty long.
long.
I actually have already watched a couple of those with my son. Like I said, I'm not putting things that I've already seen on this list. But yeah, we watched the Rudolph one and the Santa Claus is Coming to Town with Mickey Rooney. Is that his name? He plays Santa in two of those.
I am so
whoever plays. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I guess I can see that. I don't know if that's why I put shorts on this list. I think I just wanted to get a little bit more in there that I haven't seen, and I think Peace on Earth was what kind of spawned that whole thing where I was like, oh, I've never seen that, and that's animated. But then I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's only 9 minutes. And then I was like, oh, maybe there's other shorts that I haven't seen. So I started looking around. I found a cool list on Letterboxd of Christmas stuff, and that's where I found a lot of those. But what's your number 3?
My third is, so I am slowly but surely turning this into a Michael Curtiz appreciation channel. I guess I shouldn't say I'm doing this because, again, this was another recommendation from JD, and it is White Christmas, directed by Michael Curtiz. I realize this is kind of a sequel to Holiday Inn, because Holiday Inn was correct me if I'm wrong, that's the film that introduced the song White Christmas to the world, but that's sort of a movie that encompasses all of the holidays, and White Christmas is just a Christmas
correct
movie.
Absolutely. It's not a sequel, though. It's completely different characters, completely different world. They kind of don't really want you to have seen this because the song is all over this one. But yeah, this is definitely the better of the two, I think. But yeah, I got both of these. Look at these. I gotta talk about these really quick. Whoever put these out did an amazing. You can't really see it on camera, but this is all like, I don't know what you call that. It's got like sparkles all in it, and it's like nice, and it stands out from the rest, which is like a glossy, and this is like the matte with the embossed letters and everything. These are super nice. This one also matches it. These are really cool slips, and this one comes with the soundtrack. Rosemary Clooney on the soundtrack on this one, and Bing.
Oh, that's really cool.
Excuse me, let me put that back in there. And Bing Crosby. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. This is very musically, so I hope you like musicals.
Oh, hey, yeah. I mean, I do. I like musicals. I mean, I just watched The Adventures of Robin Hood recently, so I am all aboard the Michael Curtiz train. I think his movies, even something that's maybe a little bit more bleak like Casablanca, that's a wartime. There's this joy at the heart of all of the movies I've seen from him that I find infectious. And hey, for Christmas movie,
yeah, this is one we watch every year, and we'll definitely watch it this year. My wife will cry again, like she does every year. And this year I can talk about it with Connor afterwards, so that's exciting.
Ooh, I was not aware that it was a tearjerker. That's good to know.
It's not tragic. It's more like, it's like it's just like a feel good cry. It's not like a.
See, those are the kinds that typically get me though.
It's so wholesome and sweet. It's great.
Oh, it sounds like that will be a tearjerker for me, because those are the kinds of movies that get me to cry, as opposed to like stuff that makes me sad.
All right. Well, my next two are, and you'll see a pattern here if you have Criterion Channel, because a lot of these are in their curated list that they have on there called Blue Christmas. They separate these. They have themes on their streaming service, and one of them is called Blue Christmas, which is where I pulled like a lot of these from. Like I think 8 of them maybe. Maybe not that many, but they have a pretty good list on there. The only thing is, by the virtue of it being called Blue Christmas, I already know that all of these are going to be sad or tragic in some way. So the first one on that list, and they're also going in chronological order, I think, is called Mourning for the Osone family, directed by Keisuke Kinoshita. And it just says, a Japanese family weathers much hardship after their military uncle comes to live with them during World War II. And that is the poster on Letterboxd. So yeah, that's all I know about it. A lot of wartime Christmas movies I'm finding as I made this list. It seems to be a time where we seem to set war movies at Christmas quite a bit, as you'll see on a couple other instances in my list. But I'm interested in checking this out. It's only 81 minutes. It's probably one of the ones that is only peripherally related to Christmas. It doesn't seem like it's going to be like a Christmas movie, but I'm interested to check it out. I'm always looking for more Japanese cinema because that's a huge blind spot for me. So I'm going to check that one out this year. And then the next one is called It Happened on Fifth Avenue, which is available on HBO Max, if you guys have that. This is about a hobo, it says, a homeless man who, what he does is he sneaks into this really, really wealthy, rich, like second richest man in the world's house when he goes away to his summer home for all winter. He lives in his house and like wears his clothes and like uses all of his stuff while he's out for like 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 months, however long it is. And but this time he's done it for like the past 3 years. But this time he meets this young guy, another guy who's just been evicted from his apartment and has like no money. He's like a veteran who came back from the war and he has no job or anything, and he just got kicked out of his apartment. So he lets him stay with him, which snowballs, and eventually they have like a whole bunch of people staying in the house, and then like the rich man comes back, and like hilarity and drama ensues. I'm guessing. So it sounds interesting. It's a 40s movie, which I love. 1947, directed by Roy Del Ruth, and it sounds interesting. Look at that nice 40s poster. Happened on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, I'm excited to check that out. Should be heartwarming and ooey gooey.
Yeah, I have not actually heard of either of those movies, but I think actually regarding It Happened on Fifth Avenue, that premise sounds very familiar when you were describing it. But
yeah, I think it's a pretty popular one. It's got a 3.5 on Letterboxd, and I've seen it on HBO Max like since HBO Max launched. I think it's been on there for a while, and I've just never checked it out. So hopefully it's pretty good. I don't immediately know any of the cast, but yeah, I'm excited to check it out.
And that first one was called what? Mourning for the.
Mourning for the Osone family.
Okay.
On Criterion Channel, available on that streaming service.
Yeah, I didn't realize like Japanese cinema had much in the way of Christmas, so I think you are right. It'll probably be more tangentially related to the holiday.
I'm just taking Criterion's word for this list because I don't know if they put it on the Blue Christmas playlist, but I don't know if I don't know how Christmassy they are, but I'm taking their word for it just because I wanted to watch some new ones this year, and they had that nice list for me. All right.
My next, I don't think you're a fan of this one. This one is I asked my mom for a couple of recommendations.
Nice, that's awesome.
And she and my family on my dad's side is huge into this. I'm actually surprised I've never actually sat down and watched this movie. It is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which
they can't see my face, but I'm making a face.
I'm seeing some teeth grit there. This is one of those movies where I've actually never even seen the original National Lampoon's Vacation, but I know this is one of those movies where like I've seen that poster in like video stores all my childhood. Like this movie was playing on TV regularly when I would go and visit my family during Christmas, but I don't know. I don't know why I haven't sat down and finally watched it. I feel like this is something I should have done by now. And I guess if I'm going to be in my family, I ought to have watched it. I ought to watch it. So I will do so and see which side of the fence I fall on. If I fall on my family side or if I fall on the DJ side of things.
I don't think there's two sides of the fence. I think there's everyone else and then me over here by myself because I think I'm the only one. I didn't see that growing up. I just watched it like last year or the year before. And I don't really like 80s comedies. It's just not my thing. I don't like comedies in general very much, so not really surprising that I didn't like that one. But no, I hope you love it. A lot of people do. Our good buddy Austin loves that one. All right.
That does not surprise me, actually, now that you mentioned that. I know that it's kind of about miserable people trying to like make it through Christmas, so sounds like an Austin pick.
Nathan Snyder just said, "What?" in the chat. I don't know if he's yelling at me or just the fact that you haven't seen it. I don't know what he's yelling at, but sorry to disappoint you, Nathan. But my next one is also from the Criterion list on the channel. It is called Black Narcissus, and I know you own this one. This is I kind of wish I would have bought this one now that I'm watching it, but it's about a group of nuns that go up to the Himalayas and try to set up like a hospital and it's just a place to take care of people up there, and they kind of like unravel and all of them kind of lose their minds because it's such harsh conditions and they just can't deal with everything going on. But this is, like you said, this is the directing duo who brought us The Red Shoes, which I really, really liked. I watched that. Was it this year or last year? I don't remember when that was, but I watched that recently and I really liked it. So if this is those same guys, then I'm sure I'm going to like it. And yeah, I'm excited to watch another one of their films. Black Narcissus. There's the poster. Really, really cool cinematography on this one. But yeah, you haven't watched that one yet? You just own it?
Yeah, had I known that was actually a Christmas movie, I think I probably would have put it on the list.
Oh, not too late. Not too late.
I guess it's not, but I had no idea. That is one of those like beloved classics from that duo. I think it's like Red Shoes is number 1, and that's number 2.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It's got a 4.0 on Letterboxd. It seems to be pretty beloved. So yeah. And then the next one I've got, and I didn't say it, that's from 1947. So a lot of 40s movies. Actually, a lot of 47 movies on my list. The next one's from 49. It's called Holiday Affair. It's also available on HBO Max, and I've seen that cover on HBO Max a lot. I think that was one I tried to get to last year, but didn't get a chance. And I'll just read this real quick. It happens in December, but it's hotter than July. Whew.
Oh.
It's going to get spicy. Just before Christmas, this department store clerk Steve Mason meets big spending customer Connie Ennis, who's actually a comparison shopper sent by another store. Steve lets her go, which gets him fired. They spend the afternoon together, which doesn't sit well with Connie's steady suitor, Carl, when he finds out, but delights her young son, Timmy, who quickly takes to Steve. So it sounds like another, shenanigans going on romance that I like to watch with my wife. I consulted with her on this one because unlike the last 2 months, this is something she's actually interested in. So we're going to watch a lot of these together. And we picked these two from HBO Max because it seems like something we'd like to watch together. So yeah, only 87 minutes. Sounds good. I didn't even mention it happened on Fifth Avenue is 116 minutes, almost 2 hours, which I was not expecting for that premise. But yeah, this one's nice and breezy. It looks like a little rom-com Christmas. What do you call rom-com? Do we have a name for Christmas rom-coms yet? Rom-croms?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like that should be its own category. Sure.
It absolutely should, especially with Hallmark making like 15 a year. But yeah, those are my next two.
I feel like I should have pulled your wife. If she like has like some kind of an authority on Christmas movies and has like her own preferences, I should have like widened the net of people who I asked for recommendations.
Oh, you have two of her favorites on your list already, so not yet, but you're about to mention them.
Well, okay. I think I might know what they are. I'll just attribute it that she is the one who recommended it, even though I did not consult her whatsoever. So I hope she doesn't mind. Anyways, my next one is I guess I have technically seen this movie. However, I have not seen it in forever, and I don't think I ever actually watched it from the beginning. It is from 1994, starring Tim Allen, The Santa Claus.
Oh, wow.
I remember seeing this on TV when I was like less than 10 years old. I don't even know if my little brother had been born yet. I remember seeing the beginning on TV where he accidentally kills Santa and now has to become Santa. And I remember thinking that premise was really fun and like creative, and that's cool. Like your dad just sort of becomes Santa Claus, and he's trying to go to work, but he keeps growing a beard and he keeps shaving it, but the beard keeps growing back. And I thought that was kind of a fun concept, and he has to sort of become the new Santa Claus. But I obviously didn't see all of it. It was just playing on TV for a little bit, and with ads and how late it probably ran, I didn't finish watching it. But this spawned 2 sequels. The first sequel is actually on like my childhood nightmare fuel list, because that Easter bunny is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. I know people say Plastic Tim Allen is nightmare fuel and all, but I couldn't get to Plastic Tim Allen. Because I know he's only in like 2 scenes, but it was like I saw that first scene, and it's like the Easter Bunny is horrifying, and I knew like the way the scene was playing out. It's like it's Santa meeting the other sort of like mythological like Father Time.
Yeah,
and Mother
that was my favorite part of that
like,
movie as a kid. I loved like the mythos behind it, that they opened up the world in that second one.
But I knew just based on that scene, I'm like, oh, these characters will be coming back, and I don't want to see that friggin' Easter Bunny ever again. So I stopped watching it and never got through it.
That's amazing.
But I won't be revisiting that childhood trauma this month, I don't think. But my brother Spencer wanted to watch The Santa Claus and revisit this one, so we are going to be watching The Santa Claus on Disney Plus. Luckily, it's streaming.
Yeah, they're all on Disney Plus. First one's really well, I like things about the second one. I think it's because I grew up with it. But yeah, the first one's pretty good. It's one that hasn't held up for me as much as I've gotten older, but I still really like Tim Allen, or at least the one character that Tim Allen plays in everything he's in.
Buzz Lightyear?
Well, okay, 2 characters. But yeah, it's fun. It is a cool premise. If you don't think about it too much. If you spend the whole movie thinking about it, you're like, whoa, this is dark and twisted and weird. But yeah, I think you'll enjoy that one, especially if you're watching it with your brother. My next 2 are both from the Criterion list, and this one is called Placido. It's not an animated movie like that poster would lead you to believe, but it is a Spanish film. It is in a small Spanish town during the Christmas holidays. A group of rich old ladies organize a peculiar event that consists of inviting a homeless person to sit down to dinner at their wealthy table. Placido, a humble worker, is hired by the organization to participate in a parade with his 3-wheeled vehicle and seemingly simple mission that will not be easy for him to accomplish. So it seems like that premise that we do kind of a lot, like that dinner for schmucks situation where like rich people are just messing with a poor person and they invite him over, and then hilarity ensues and hopefully people learn lessons. So I don't know, sounds interesting. Very highly reviewed on Letterboxd. 1961 and only 83 minutes. So I'm excited about that because a couple of these on this list are very long, and I'm glad that these ones are a little shorter. So Placido, excited to check that one out. Never heard of it. It's on Criterion Channel. And then here we are. We've made it. 1964. Jacques Demy, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Look at that. I mean, everyone's been screaming at me in the comments that I finally need to see this. I own the box set. If you don't own the box set, it is available on Criterion Channel and HBO Max. So even Connor could watch this one. A little taste of Jacques Demy. But I've loved everything I've seen from Jacques Demy, and I'm hoping that I love this movie as well. It's about Christmas. It's about, I think it's a musical. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is one of his musicals, but if it is, I love musicals. I love Christmas, and it's also like a little like about young love, like a younger romance movie. So yeah, I'm excited to check it out, and that is my next one. So yeah, Placido and The Umbrellas of Cherbourg.
Well, if you ask me, it's about time. You finally got on it. It's about time. So my next pick is actually one that I picked. Just I didn't actually consult anybody.
Oh,
risky. This is a pick
risky.
Exclusively from me. But this is also sort of like it kind of has a bit of an X factor going for it. I don't know if you actually like this movie or not. I don't think I've ever actually asked you about it.
Well, I'll let you know.
This is a bit of a classic. It's really definitely become a classic, but it is A Christmas Story. The at one point it was a box office bomb, but then it became this movie that played on cable over and over again, and now it has become a bona fide classic that is widely considered the greatest Christmas movie ever made. This is what I call like the Forrest Gump pick. Now, Forrest Gump was this movie that when I was a kid, I think Forrest Gump might be USA Network's like only programming during the summertime, because that movie plays constantly. And I remember like when I was young and growing up and just sort of on television or at friends' house or family houses, Forrest Gump would just be on TV all the time. And I don't think I ever actually sat down and watched Forrest Gump unbroken from beginning to end until last year. But I knew I had seen every scene of Forrest Gump. Now, likewise, that is the case with A Christmas Story. I have seen A Christmas Story with ads. I've seen like the first 20 minutes, the last half hour, scenes in the middle. I usually fall asleep. I usually wake up from a nap and it's on. I usually, it's on in the background. So like I know what A Christmas Story is, but I want to finally just sit down and watch it all at once with no ads and no people talking over it or people jabbering on in the back as they're eating on some turkey and mashed potatoes.
Yes. So I had the exact same thing actually with Christmas Story. I had never seen it until like 2 years ago. I had only seen it was always on every Thanksgiving. I don't know if you know this. They play it like 24 hours on Thanksgiving. They play it just continuously, like the whole day. And my family, when I went over to my dad's side of the family on Thanksgiving, they would always have it on. That was just like my dad's brother's movie. And so so that side of the family, like my dad's mom, everyone watched that movie every Thanksgiving. So I had seen so much of it that I never felt like I needed to watch it. But when my grandma passed away a few years ago, ever since then, I've kind of had, because I never liked it. I don't like that kind of humor. It's kind of like gross, like it's like the gross, like over the top, like kind of a disgusting, like rude humor kind of family. It's like, don't you relate to this? Because your family also sucks. It's like, not really. Like, I didn't have that horrible of a life. But yeah, so I never related to it. I didn't like that kind of humor. But like I said, I've had more of a soft spot for it ever since my grandma passed away, and that was kind of their special thing. So I watched it a couple years ago, and I enjoyed it more. And it's kind of the perfect movie to see snippets of, like you said, because that's kind of what it is. It's kind of like a vignette film. It's just like, and then I did this thing, this story from my childhood at Christmas time, and then this story from my childhood. It's just like a bunch of different stories. It's interesting. I don't know if it'll blow you away or anything, especially because it's been hyped up so much by just Christmas in general. But I think you could find some good things about it. I think it's interesting.
And it is directed by a man named Bob Clark, who directed the original 1974 Black Christmas.
Not on my list. I should have put that.
Which is a Christmas slasher film that I have been meaning to watch every year for like 3 years now. So maybe I should have put that on there. Have a Bob Clark duology going on. But I didn't realize he directed that. He also gave us Baby Geniuses and Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. So batting 1,000 there, Mr. Clark.
He's been on TV more than any other director, so with
that is true. That is true.
Except for also maybe with a bunch of little vignette stories. So maybe that's the key. All right, my next two. This one is called My Night at Maud's. It's also in that Criterion Blue Christmas theme. My Night at Maud's. I think it's a French film. Don't know a lot about these. Like I said, I don't know a lot about any of these because this is my first hearing of them. But it's 1969. The rigid principles of a devout Catholic man are challenged during a one-night stay with Maud, a divorced woman with an outsized personality. So, more romance things. That's kind of what you get with Christmas a lot of the time. Is romance things or nostalgic things like A Christmas Story. But yeah, I'm excited to check that one out. That is, like I said, from 1969. It's a little bit longer. It's 111 minutes. So, but I've been on a French movie kick lately, so I'm interested to check that one out. It's on Criterion Channel and HBO Max if you're interested. And then the next one is another short. I like to put at least one version of A Christmas Carol every year because there's so many that you can at least like pick a new one every year and still like it's like you're watching one of your favorites every year, but it's a new one too. It's a weird experience that you can kind of only have with A Christmas Story because you make 1,000 of them. But yeah, this is a short film version. It's 27 minutes from 1971. This is supposed to be a pretty good one. I've never seen this one, but it's that animated one, that 1970s style animation, which looks interesting. The poster's not as interesting. It's just kind of a title, but yeah, I don't need to read the synopsis. It's A Christmas Story, but it's an animated one by Richard Williams from 1974. So if you guys have seen that one, I know that's kind of some people's favorites. I've never seen it, and I'm going to check it out. So those are my next two.
Interesting. I've never heard of that version of A Christmas Carol. That's
yeah.
pretty. Wait, is
Christmas
it
Carol.
Christmas
Yeah.
story? Oh,
So yeah, I like that story a lot, and I mean it's a classic story. And I think I looked up like best versions of that story, and there's like a letterbox list for everything. I think I found one, and that animated one came up, and I think it's not available on any streaming service, but I did see it either on YouTube or Vimeo or Dailymotion or one of those like free ones that I can watch it on. So I'm gonna check it out.
right. Cool. I look forward to seeing your response to that one, because Christmas Carol is one of those things where I know that story, but like I don't think I've ever actually watched a Christmas Carol movie before. And I know like the Muppets one is beloved, and I would like to watch it someday, but I just haven't really.
I've talked about. Well, maybe I should. This might come up a little bit later on my list, but yeah, there's some really good ones. I recommend the 1938 one. I've seen the Muppets one. There's a Mickey one. Someone just mentioned Spencer Nielsen. Darn, I thought it was going to be the Jim Carrey one. I have seen the Jim Carrey one, and it's actually really good. I had a weird experience with that one where I watched it while looking at the book. I've never done that with a movie before, but I was literally like reading the book as I watched it, and it was like word for word the dialogue they pulled. It was really cool. It was pretty faithful. They just added some action scenes because it's Disney, and so there's a lot of flying around with the ghosts, but it's a pretty good version. Jim Carrey did a great job. He doesn't seem like Jim Carrey at all, which is good for me because I don't like Jim Carrey.
Oh, interesting. Whoa, spitting those hot takes. Like
well, we're already like 30 minutes into the video. People aren't watching anymore, so they're not they're not going to hear these hot takes. They're embedded deep in the video. So what's your next one?
So this one is actually recommended by your wife. I'm really going out on a limb on that.
See,
one.
that's gender stereotypes, sir, and that's not okay.
But 2003 is Richard Curtis classic,
yes.
Love Actually.
Well, I did mention at the beginning of the video that she has to watch this every year, and I watch it with her. I had never seen this before I met her, but yeah, we do watch it every year. It's a Christmas classic.
And
it's
look
a crazy
at that cast. We got.
I'll just hold it here.
Hugh Grant, Liam Neeson, Alan Rickman, Emma Thompson, Bill Nighy, Laura Linney, Colin Firth, Keira Knightley, just Chiwetel Ejiofor, Martin Freeman, Rowan Atkinson, even Thomas Brody Sangster. I mean, it's just got everybody, and it's written and directed by the one and only Richard Curtis. So, yeah, I will finally watch this. I've never seen it before, and I honestly don't really know what to expect, except it has Hugh Grant, which means he'll probably be a master of disguise, stealing artifacts from local English locations and framing a Benny Paddington along the way.
Well, yeah, the CG Bear in 2003 was not as good as the one in 2018. But no, this is fun. It's a classic rom-com. It's kind of one of those ones that has like a bunch of stories going on. This is kind of what started that whole trend with like Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve and all those terrible ones. But I think this one's pretty fun. It's pretty good. I'm very interested to know what you're going to think of this, because I think some of the stories might have those kind of like annoying, you can tell it was written in the script thing that you hate, where there's just like annoying characters doing things. So anyway, I'm interested to hear your if it's a hot take, or if I don't know if this one's gonna like upset you, or if it's just gonna be, because you said you like warm and fuzzy stuff, so it might just kind of be like, you might forgive some things.
Well, let's see. Will I be a Grinch, or will my heart grow
maybe
three
so.
sizes?
Well, look at that. I mean, it even comes with, this is the 10th anniversary digital restoration, and it comes with some kind of I think it's a Christmas ornament. Have not opened it yet, but this package really bothers me because that won't stay down. And it's just sitting on my shelf, sticking up like that, and it drives me nuts. But I only have to see it for a month because I take all my Christmas movies down and put them away, and then I get them out every year. It's kind of like an event thing. But yeah, there it is. Love Actually. That's your next one. All right. Well, I should probably be looking at my list instead of holding up your movies. My next one is interesting. I don't know. This is one I found. This is another short that I found on one of the free video sites. It's called Christopher's Christmas Mission. Man, I'm going to butcher these names. Directed by Sagan Carl Bertil and Jonssons Julafton. I think it's German. Directed. Oh no, sorry. That's actually the German title of the film. It's directed by Per Ahlin. It's 23 minutes. Take from the rich and give to the poor. Christopher's Christmas Mission, a tale about a boy who steals Christmas gifts from the wealthy to give to the poor people of Stockholm while working in a post office on Christmas Eve. There's the poster. More of that 70s animation, which looks interesting. Reminds me of Johnny, what's that movie? Johnny Corncob. Director, same director as Son of the White Mare that I mentioned on this channel before. But that was a Hungarian animator, but it's similar styling, I guess because it's the 70s. But yeah, I'm excited to check that out. It's only about a 23-minute movie, so it's like a look at an episode of television. So I'm interested to see if I like that one. It's very highly reviewed, 3.9 on Letterboxd. And so 1975. I'm excited to check that one out. And then the next one is also on the Criterion list, and this is, everybody knows this film that's into Criterion movies. Fanny and Alexander, Ingmar Bergman, right here, available on Criterion Channel. This is the theatrical cut. I know there's different cuts of this. This is the one that's on Criterion Channel in the Christmas list, so I'm going to watch this version. I don't know which is the best cut. I know there's a television cut, but I don't have this on Blu-ray. So 1982, as children in the loving Ekdal family, Fanny and Alexander enjoy a happy life with their parents, who run a theater company. After their father dies unexpectedly, however, the siblings end up in a joyless home when their mother, Emily, marries a stern bishop. The bleak situation gradually grows worse as the bishop becomes more controlling, but dedicated relatives make a valiant attempt to aid Emily, Fanny, and Alexander. So Merry Christmas. sounds like it's going to be pretty bleak, and it is 188 minutes. So don't know if I don't know. I'm going to try to get to this one because I know Bergman is beloved.
I hope you like slow Swedish cinema.
Oh, whoa, good.
That was like an alliteration. I think it's a 5-part television miniseries that got edited into a 3-hour film, and I watched the first episode a while back. And basically everything that you described in that happened.
So the first episode's just a lot of.
So now I'm like
introspection and just kind of thinking.
No, the first episode's really cool. It's basically just like a family's get together on Christmas Eve, and it's like you see their entire dinner. Like you see like before the dinner, you see like the entire dinner. You see like the after dinner like charades. You see like all the different members of the family and how they all like start to like go into their own different corners and like kind of who they are, and then they all go home and you see who they are when they go home, and it's like this like sprawling like hour or so of just this family, and it's examining the like the different like sects of this family and like the matriarch and like all these things. So I had no idea.
Oh, sorry. I had never read that synopsis either, and I was like, should I be reading this? Sometimes these give too much away.
But I also know that like the theater production they're putting on is Hamlet, so I just assumed that it would be like a retelling of Hamlet with Hamlet within it, and so that's sounds like exactly what it turns out to be. So but it's Christmas themed, so that's really cool. I'm glad you're watching this. I
know. I don't know if this is the first Bergman I should watch, especially when I'm in like a Christmassy, cheesy type movie mood. But I don't know. I'm gonna try it. It was on the list. I blame Criterion Channel for making a list called Blue Christmas and putting a bunch of depressing films in it. So.
Well, maybe it'll be a nice palate cleanser, right? But for my next pick, I figured I should have at least one movie that DJ recommended to me, and that is the film Fred Claus.
Oh, this is the one you give me? You give all the other ones to JD, and then you give me this one.
Yeah. So this one stars Vince Vaughn and Paul Giamatti. I think I've seen this one before. Like, this came out when I was in middle school, I think. And this was back in the good old days when you put out a movie on Christmas in the theaters, and then you had to wait an entire year before it came out on DVD. And they were trying to really hit it with the, the Christmas market. Nowadays, you go to like March and they're putting out like almost Christmas on Blu-ray. But I remember watching this, and I have fond memories of watching this when Look at that. That is a
very
beautiful
shiny.
slipcover.
Snow on the letter. I don't know if you
remember-
can see that, but there's like snow on top of the letters. It's pretty nice.
That is beautiful. Yeah, I remember having kind of fond memories because when I finally watched this, I believe that movie came out in 07. I watched it in 08, and that was the year in Portland, Oregon. It snowed more than it had snowed in many years, many years, and I have like a fond memories of sitting next to my mom on the couch as the snow was pouring outside. What's it called? The Moroccan Christmas episode of The Office had just come out, and we watched that movie. So I have fond memories of that movie, but I don't remember anything about it. But I know you are a fan, so I will go out on a limb and I will watch it.
I'm a fan.
For
I'm a
you.
fan. It kind of sort of lives or dies on if you like the comedy stylings of Vince Vaughn and Paul Giamatti, which I do. They're great together as brothers. Hilarious. And it's also really, like you said, warm and fuzzy about brothers. And I have 2 younger brothers, and it hits me in the feels. And I also started watching it young. I think I started watching it when it came out. And that was just one that I've kind of watched every year with my brothers and family. So I got a soft spot for that one. I'm glad you're going to check it out. I'm sure you probably won't have the emotional connection that I do to it since you're watching it as a 20-year-old man. But I hope you enjoy it, at least. All right, what are my next 2? My next 2.
What you got? What you got?
Going in a completely different direction. A kid's movie that I'm going to watch with my son that I've never seen before, never even heard of it. Don't even know what it's about, but it is called The Snowman. It looks like it's based on a children's book based on that artwork, but I don't know if that's true or not, so I don't want to spread false rumors about The Snowman from 1982. But it's a 26-minute short. It's about a young boy who makes a snowman one Christmas Eve, which comes to life at midnight and takes the boy on a magical adventure to the North Pole to meet Santa Claus. So sounds like a little just Christmas fun kids short thing, but it's got a 3.9 on Letterboxd, which surprised me. So that could either mean that no one has rated it except for people that loved it growing up, or that it's actually surprisingly good. It's got a 1.4 thousand reviews, so it's actually pretty highly reviewed. So
that's
interesting.
That's not nothing,
that is a short from 1982. And then my next one I actually have here in person because I bought it in the November sale. It is Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Look at that. And I'm almost positive this is going to be another one that has barely anything to do with Christmas, but is just like set at Christmas because they're in another country and it looks like there's grass on the ground. It doesn't look like there's too much Christmas stuff going on. But I love that cover. Look at that. I kind of based the thumbnail on this color scheme because I love the green and white. I love the spine. I love everything about this one. This is, I'll just read the synopsis on Letterboxd because it's much shorter than the synopsis on the back of the DVD. Or the Blu-ray. But Island of Java, 1942, during World War II, British Major Jack Selliers arrives at a Japanese prison camp run by the strict Captain Yonoi. Colonel John Lawrence, who has a profound knowledge of Japanese culture, and Sergeant Hara, brutal and simpleton, will witness the struggle of wills between 2 men from very different backgrounds who are tragically destined to clash. And the guy who plays Selliers is David Bowie. Of all people. Look at that. This is no Labyrinth. This is a Criterion Collection film. So I'm excited to see him not in a codpiece and see him actually acting pretty seriously. And this was something that I first found out about on Hulu last Christmas. I was like, what is Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence? I never even heard of that. And it wasn't in like anyone's Christmas section on their streaming service. I just like stumbled across it and recommended movies for me because I don't know why I recommended it, but I saved it in my Hulu list, and then later on I found out that it's a Criterion movie, so I picked it up in this November 50% off sale. So I'm gonna check that out this year. That is 123 minutes, so that's gonna be another commitment, but I own it, so that'll make me watch it more than if it was just on a streaming service, as we've talked about on this channel quite a bit. But yeah, look at that. There's the 2 men. Look at that. I love that. It's got the C with the cutout of the image. So yeah, really excited to check that one out.
That's
Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and the Snowman. I don't think I could have gotten 2 more different picks next to each other, but that's how it worked out. Just going in release order. But what's your next one, sir?
All right, so this next one is from 2006. I remember when this came out, uh, and this is actually, I should say, another recommendation from my mother. If I had to guess what you said, I had two of your wife's kind of favorites. I am gonna guess this one is that it is Nancy Meyers' The Holiday.
Well, if you are, I would own it, wouldn't I? Yes, you are correct. Here it is. I went ahead and grabbed all off my list that I knew you were watching. I pretty much own all the ones except for a couple that you're watching. So yeah, this is. Go ahead, talk about it. Talk about what your mom told you.
No. Okay, well, she didn't tell me anything. She's like, I was just hanging out with her today, and I said, "Mom, what are some Christmas movies you love?" And she's like, "Well, I love Elf, of course." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've seen it." And she's like, "Yeah," but she's like, The Holiday is really good." And I will say, Nancy Meyers is one of those film directors that I've not really seen a whole lot of. Whenever she puts out a movie, it's generally pretty popular. I saw that movie, The Intern, with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. I thought that was a pretty cute movie. I know that she kind of gets criticism for being very cloying and sentimental, and maybe your Steven Spielberg for women, if you will. But I don't know. I like the cast. I like a solid rom-com. And that's the thing. You know what? Everyone likes a solid rom-com. Everyone likes laughing. Everyone likes to cry a little bit. Everyone likes to feel romance. And, this has got Jack Black, Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, and Jude Law. I think that's a pretty solid cast. I love Kate Winslet and Jack Black. Jude Law is pretty cool. And I don't think I've really ever seen Cameron Diaz in anything that blew me away. But, she's never, taking away from a movie, I don't think. So, oh well. I'll finally see what all the...
No, I was just laughing at what you said.
Okay. I finally see what all the hubbub's about. So, yeah, I guess hubbub from 20...
Yeah, I don't know how much hubbub there is, but I had never heard of this either until my wife showed it to me. It is a solid rom-com. It's a rom-com that I enjoyed because I didn't have any moral issues with it, which is the problem with a lot of rom-coms. Or just not moral issues, but oh, this is not a way to start a relationship. This is terrible. But this is pretty solid. I like this one. We've watched it a few Christmases since we've been together, and Jack Black is delightful in this. He's so charming. I kudos to Jack Black in this movie.
Jack,
He's great.
yeah.
He plays us. And you'll actually appreciate this because it's about people in the film industry. Jack Black actually plays a what do you call it? My brain's going blank. A composer, a film composer, which is really cool. And I think from what you said earlier about liking heartwarming movies, giving them kind of a little bit of a pass, even if they're a little cheesy, I think you'll like it. My next one is, like I said earlier, it was going to come back. This was the one that I had on my list before I added the animated one, but this is the 1984 A Christmas Carol. Now, this is apparently a very popular one amongst the Dickens fan base. I don't know. I like I said, I love the 30s one. I've seen a few other ones. I have not seen this one yet. This is the big 84 one with George C. Scott. It's supposed to be pretty good. I just found this year at Half Price Books or one of those type stores for $4. So I grabbed it. It was between this one and the other one that I found this year for super cheap, which is the 1955 one. But I went with this one, and I'll watch this one next year. Like I said, I want to keep one in the tank so I can try to watch one each year. So this is the 84 one. Again, I won't say too much about it because I'm sure it's pretty much the same. You get the gist. Same, different main lead and different ghost effects, but they're all the same. And then my next one, which I've never seen, and I know everyone's going to lose their minds that I haven't seen, but we're going from 84 all the way to 93 with The Nightmare Before Christmas. I know some people think it's a Halloween movie. Maybe I should have watched it already, but I have not seen it. Henry Selick, director. Everyone knows about this movie. I'm the last person on the planet to have seen this movie, so I don't need to tell you the synopsis. But it's only 76 minutes. Stop motion, as I've already established in this video that I really like stop motion. So there's really no reason I haven't seen it. I think it's because when I was a kid, I didn't like spooky, creepy Tim Burton aesthetic things. So I just never gravitated towards it. And we never watched it growing up. So here I am, 29-year-old man, finally going to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. Don't know if have you seen it?
I have. I remember when I watched it because I was being babysat by like my family friend, and she was like, "You've never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas?" So like it was like the middle of July or something, and I guess we had Christmas in July, and we just watched that. And I remember thinking that was short, and also that's it. Like, not that it was bad or anything, but like I remember that for whatever reason, when I was like a kid, that movie was so insanely hyped. I saw merchandise for it and iconography everywhere, and I was just like, oh, it was just a movie. So I haven't really seen it since I was like 9.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I don't know. The reason I was asking is because I don't know if I should show my son yet, because he's only 3. He might be a little too young.
It's too intense for a 3.
Well, then I'll just watch it either by myself or I'll see if my wife's interested. But yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas, I thought, why not knock it off the list? I didn't know it was so short, but hey, that's a bonus. Because I got a lot to get through this month. Yeah. But yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. I can finally get everyone off my back who wants me to watch that movie. But no, I'll let you guys know. John Henry in the live chat says, tell us what you think of it, with an exclamation point. So he's excited for me to check it out. All right, what's up? What's your next one?
My second to last. This was a deliberate choice because I've already seen this. I watched it earlier this week.
Oh, I know what this is.
I know this. I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit because I know that this is a favorite of yours, and we're going to have some conflict here.
Oh,
it's a little
YouTube beef.
Christmas duel. Yeah. We put up your dukes. Let's do this. But this is Home Alone 3.
Yeah. I didn't think you were gonna like it. I don't expect anyone to like this movie.
So I guess I should say, like, I did not hate it or anything. It was just like the most unusual, like, uncanny experience I had watching a movie in some time, because like it's not a badly produced movie. Like, it looks like a real movie, and it kind of looks like a Home Alone movie. Yeah, when I look at it, it feels like a fake Home Alone movie. Like, I don't know. It feels like I did a podcast with a buddy of mine on this recently, and it'll go up later in the month. But he described it as if it was like a screenplay that was produced by the Asylum called At Home by Yourself, and I was like, that's exactly what it feels like, because it's like it's just Home Alone for a third time, but like enough of the details have been changed to where it's like it's like a week after New Year, but it's still in Chicago, so there's snow on the ground, and it's a kid who's home with chickenpox, and so I guess it's not even technically a Christmas movie, but it's got that Home Alone branding with it, and Home Alone is just synonymous with Christmas. But I don't know, it's funny. I don't know. I have already seen this, so I guess it qualifies. It's not even really a Christmas movie, but I already lumped it in with Christmas, and I don't know. Defend yourself, DJ.
Sorry, I'm going to disappoint. I don't really have much to say. I haven't watched it in like 8 years, or it's been a while. Like, this is just the one I liked as a kid. It was more kid friendly than the other two were. Like, I don't know. I still watched.
Dude, the ending of the movie is like got nightmare feel, where like the not Famke Jensen, they like pull her out of the dumbwaiter thing, and all of the bones in her body have been broken, and she's like curled up like a pretzel. Whoa, that was terrifying.
I don't know, man. That's what gets me. This one is like so ridiculous. This is definitely the closest thing that is so bad it's good for me. Like, I don't usually have that type thing with movies where I watch like so bad they're good movies, but this one gets there because it's hilarious how over the top it is. It's not just too like, it's kind of believable. Well, I don't know how believable it is, but it's more believable that a kid could hold his own against two just like terrible, stupid criminals, but like, or like just like people who rob houses. But these are like the world's top like criminals, and there's 4 of them, and they're all getting taken down by this little 8-year-old kid, which is hilarious. And then the traps are like Kevin's traps on steroids. Like, they're all over the top, like absolutely insane. It couldn't have happened any other way for this trap to go off, but it happens exactly the kid is omniscient, dude. He knows everything that's going to happen perfectly, and they have to step on exactly the right spot, and it goes off flawlessly. Like, I don't know. I want more superhero movies with this kid. If he has that kind of, he's like the Joker or Jack Sparrow or something, where he knows he can plan out like a 50 moves ahead. It's a silly movie. I'm not going to defend it. I didn't think you would like it. I just have nostalgia for it because it's the one I watched the most as a kid.
What I thought was interesting was one of the burglars is like, he sounds almost exactly like the actor Joe Pantaleone, or Joey Pants as everyone calls him, Cypher from The Matrix. So I call that actor Tall Joey Pants. But the movie that John Hughes produced and wrote after this was Baby's Day Out, which featured actual Joey Pants in it, which was about a baby outsmarting criminals. So, just saying. I think he
is that the guy? There's also one of the criminals that looks just like. He reminds me of David Schwimmer every time I watch this.
That's Lenny Von Dolan.
Oh, that's why you watched
Twin
it?
Peaks. That's why I watched this movie. Yeah, he does look like David Schwimmer. I thought he looked kind of like Jason Isaacs too. But there's like not Famke Jensen. There's not David
she
Schwimmer.
Falls in
the
in the laundry chute. Oh, and they're getting like brutally murdered so many times. It's like Groundhog's Day, but they don't die. Like when they dropped like a weight set on their heads, and you're just like, oh, that hurt. Like, no, your neck would be broken and your head would be caved in. Oh, I love it so much. I'm gonna have to watch that one this year. I'm gonna have to sneak it in. You're getting me excited about it.
Right on.
But yeah, Mr. Unga, Mr. Jernigan. Oh, it's great. Mrs. Hess, good old Mrs. Hess. She's the best. All right, my next two are two from the Criterion list, and this is going to finish off the Criterion Blue Christmas list. This is an odd one. This is an odd pick. This was actually on my Halloween list, and I took it off because I found out that it was on here. So that'll tell you how weird of a pick it is. It's 1993's Kronos from Guillermo del Toro. Man, I don't know. I guess apparently this is set at Christmas time. But faced with his own mortality, an ingenious alchemist tries to perfect an invention that would provide him with the key to eternal life. It was called the Kronos device. When he died more than 400 years later, he took the secrets of the remarkable device to the grave with him. Now an elderly antique dealer has... Oh, man. At an antique shop where they find like a real artifact, I'm sold. I'm already in. I don't even need to finish this. An antique dealer has found the hellish machine hidden in a statue and learns about its incredible powers. The more he uses the device, the angrier it becomes, but nothing comes without a price. I mean, I'm sold. I'm assuming it's going to be spooky and kind of horrifying and maybe a little bit violent, judging by the blood right there on it. But I've been wanting to watch this for a while. I also want to watch The Devil's Backbone, which is Guillermo del Toro's other big one that I haven't seen. I had that on my Halloween list and I didn't get to it, so I'll have to check that out maybe next year or a little bit later. But hopefully I can get through Kronos this year. And I put that on here. Well, I was just going through the entire Criterion list, but I put that on here especially because I wanted to shake things up a little bit, because you can get a lot of samey type movies when you're doing a bunch of Christmas movies. So Kronos, available on Criterion Channel and HBO Max if you have that. So that is Kronos. And then the next one, and the last one in the Criterion Blue Christmas list, is called A Christmas Tale. I think you talked about this one with me. Is that actually in the collection, or is that just on the channel? Yeah. Okay, so if I like that one, I think it's in the collection. Track down the Blu-ray of it, but it's Christmas Tale. I don't know anything about this one. I haven't read this yet, but when their regal matriarch falls ill, the troubled Voulard family comes together for a hesitant Christmas time reunion. Among them is rebellious ne'er-do-well Henry and the uptight Elizabeth. Together under the same roof for the first time in many years, their intricate, long-denied resentments and yearnings emerge again. So not another happy one, but 2008, A Christmas Tale. That's fascinating. I have not heard of that. 2008.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it might be
foreign,
de
Noël is the actual title. Directed by Arnaud Desplechin. I think it might be French. 2008. So yeah, 152 minutes. So a little bit of a commitment. Almost 3 hours, but I'm hoping it's interesting. I'm hoping I like it.
Fanny and Alexander.
I know those two. I said there was a couple on that list that are going to be doozies. So those are the two. Maybe when I'm at my parents' house, or staying at my wife's parents' house for this Christmas, maybe when they're doing some things, I'll have some time to when they're watching the kids, I'll have some time to just kind of lay back and watch these behemoths of movies. But yeah, I'm excited to check those two out.
Ethan Edwards likes to remind me of how much I'm like Jimmy Fallon. He even acts like Jimmy Fallon. The facial expressions and hand movements. Oh man. I guess it's true then.
Thank you, Ethan Edwards, for making my day yet again. And he said, did he mention Fanny Alexander? I did. Earlier in the stream, I'm going to be watching I'm going to be trying to watch Fanny Alexander this year. So hopefully I can get to that one.
All right, my final one. Something got changed out last minute, DJ. So I was gonna do the Red Shoes, but I don't even know if that's actually a Christmas movie.
I wouldn't consider that a Christmas movie. I know some people watch it at Christmas time, but I don't think it has anything to do with Christmas.
Well, consider it dropped.
It is a great movie though, and you should watch it at some point.
It's my brother last minute said, I want to watch Scrooge.
Oh, I should have.
Which is a Christmas Carol. Basically, it's a.
Sorry, you threw me a curveball, but I still had to grab it.
Hey! Excellent. You have your own version of a Christmas Carol that you're watching this year. I guess this is my version. Not only is this, starring the great Bill Murray, but this is directed by the recently deceased Richard Donner.
Did not know that was a Richard Donner film. I have seen this.
I've never seen it. I remember when it came out, it got very mixed reviews, but as is the case with a lot of Christmas movies, it found its audience and is something of a cult classic. So I am curious to watch it. I don't know. Over the last few years, I've definitely found Bill Murray to be a much more my type than he used to be. So I'm just curious to see him basically playing Scrooge.
So maybe you changed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This definitely falls into I could see people who like Christmas Vacation also liking this. It feels very similar to that to me. So, I'm excited that you're going to check that out. It's definitely the story of A Christmas Carol, in 80s comedy Bill Murray lens. So, you threw me a curveball there with that last minute.
That's amazing that you had it though. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect that to happen.
You can try, but if there's Christmas movies in my vicinity, I will grab them. My next one is a movie that every time I look up a Christmas movie, like best Christmas movies of all time list, it's like number 2, like right behind It's a Wonderful Life. And I've never seen it. It came out in 2015. It's like pretty recent. It's called Tangerine. Have you heard of this?
I have. I had no idea that was a Christmas movie list.
I'm taking their word for it. I haven't seen it yet, but Tangerine. Oh, it's called. Wow. Well, the opening is Merry Christmas Eve, female dog. I don't know who's listening, so I'll just keep it PG. But apparently, it is a Christmas movie because it says it right in the synopsis. It's Christmas Eve in Tinseltown, and Cindy is back on the block. Upon hearing that her pimp boyfriend hasn't been faithful during the 28 days she was locked up, the working girl and her best friend Alexandra embark on a mission to get to the bottom of this scandalous rumor. Their rip-roaring odyssey leads them through various subcultures of Los Angeles, including an Armenian family dealing with their own repercussions of infidelity. So another just laugh a minute.
Well, I do know apparently this is a very upbeat, pretty fun.
Oh, interesting. Even though the subject matter is kind of down.
Lower life sort of. Yeah, I think it's dealing with more serious subject matter. But this is, I know the filmmaker of this is Sean Baker. He made a movie called The Florida Project, which is great. And he has a movie coming out actually later this month called Red Rocket, which is apparently great. But this movie was shot all on iPhone. It's kind of famously like one of those like, wow, they made a great movie just on an iPhone, and a lot of people love this movie. I missed it because it did not play at the theater I was working at the time, but this is one of those big movies from the last 10 years that I will make sure to watch before I make like my big top 100 movies of the 2010s list.
I didn't see it either. That was a little bit before I was getting really big into film, but like I said, 3.8 on Letterboxd, very popular, very well reviewed, and this seems like one that my wife would just really, really love. R-rated Christmas craziness. So yeah, I'm excited to check that one out because that one seems to be one of the best. And then I will go with this is my next one, The Man Who Invented Christmas. So kind of another Christmas Carol on this list, but this is not a Christmas Carol. If you haven't heard of this, this is about Charles Dickens and why he came up, or the story of how he came up with A Christmas Carol, which I always like those kind of, I'm not really a big biopic person, but if it's about like an event instead of just the person's whole life, then I don't know, I'm more interested in it, especially if it's a book that I really like and it's about how he wrote that book. So I'm excited to check that one out. That came out in 2017. It's not too old, but hopefully that's good. Nice little biopic about A Christmas Carol. And did you say you were done?
Yeah, that's the last on my list.
24 left. I don't know what happened in our rankings. I should have went first, maybe. But I'll just knock these last two out really quick. My last one was going to be Robin Robin, which is a 2021 animated short by what's the studio? Aardman. Yeah, Aardman Animations. You know Aardman, who does... they do the Wallace and Gromit. They did Chicken Run, Shaun the Sheep, all that kind of stop motion stuff. This is a movie that just came out this year. It's about a robin, a bird who is raised by mice, and she has to figure out her own place in the world because she's obviously not good at being a mouse. So yeah, I actually already watched this one with my son, and the animation is beautiful, like mind-blowing. The animation looks really, really good. It looks like it's made with because it is, but it's like these little felt animals, and everything looks so soft and makes you want to grab your screen. So that's Robin Robin. And then, just to get 24 on this list, I added this one. It's not available streaming anywhere. Sorry, that last one was on Netflix. I didn't say. Robin Robin is a Netflix film. And this one is called, I added this at the last minute, even though it's not streaming. I'm going to try to get my hands on the Blu-ray because I've heard a lot of good things from people I have that I respect their opinions of. It's Tokyo Godfathers. Yeah, right? I had to get some Japanese animation on this list. I've never seen this. This came out in 2003, out of order because I said I just threw it on the end. But yeah, Tokyo Godfathers. I don't know how Christmassy it is. I guess it takes place on Christmas Eve in Tokyo. So 3 homeless people, middle-aged alcoholic Jin, former drag queen Hana, and dependent runaway girl Mayuki discover an abandoned newborn while looking through the garbage. With only a handful of clues to the baby's identity, the 3 misfits search the city to find its parents. Now, I had this described to me by one of our subscribers that contributes a lot. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Tyler Overall. He described this to me as like Japanese anime Ice Age for adults, which sounds amazing, and it sounds like the exact same premise. And I loved Ice Age as a kid, so that piqued my interest quite a bit. So I'm excited to check this one out. Like I said, I'm gonna have to buy the Blu-ray, kind of blind buy it because it's not streaming anywhere, or just rent it. Maybe I can do that, but I don't like to rent stuff because then if I like it, I'm basically spending only a few dollars more just to own it. So I don't know. I might just go ahead and buy it. Take people's word for this one. But yeah, that's my last one. Tokyo Godfathers.
You've seen
is that the same director?
Right? I think it is Satoshi Kon.
Yes, Satoshi Kon. Interesting. Paprika's. That's a mind-blowing film. You need to watch that. It was on Criterion Channel, but it just left last month, I think. But yeah, I'm going to check out Tokyo if I can. Like I said, I don't know if I'll get to that one. I just added it to get to a nice round 24 for the 24th. Hopefully I'll wrap it up right on Christmas Eve. And then but yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, Connor. That was a lot of Christmas movies. That was no crossover.
Yes.
So that was a ton of Christmas movies. Ethan Edwards, did he mention Die Hard and Die Hard 2? I came in late. No. We did not mention Die Hard. We've both already seen Die Hard, right? You've seen Die Hard? Yeah. So yes. Yeah, we're trying to challenge ourselves to see things we haven't seen. But no, I haven't seen Die Hard 2, and I did not put that one on the list. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen Die Hard 2, Die Harder. I have not. I didn't know it was Christmas.
I didn't either. I don't know anything about the sequels. But yeah, Stephen Murphy says no Jingle All the Way. This is a sick world we live in with sick people. Amazing. No, I've seen Jingle All the Way. It's like a childhood favorite of mine. I watch that maybe not every year, but I try to watch it pretty frequently. Connor has not seen it, which is a crime, and I'm upset with him for not putting it on his list. But
It's turbo time.
But no, that's it. That's what we're going to be watching this month. We will check in with you probably around the new year, a little bit after January starts, to give us our opinions on all these movies we've watched, all the ones we got to, and maybe talk about the ones we didn't get to. Hopefully we can get to all of them. I did put a ton on this list, but hopefully I can get through it all. I usually watch a lot of stuff in Christmas time. Once I have that week off of work, that Christmas week, I usually, but now I have kids, so I don't even know if that'll help me because they'll be home from school, and I can't really watch like Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, or Fanny and Alexander with the kids. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We will be back again. I don't even know what our next video is. We've been doing a lot of videos this December, but we'll be back again probably with a Blu-ray update pretty soon. And like I said, we'll follow up on this. Hopefully I can get a commentary out this December. I'd like to watch some Christmas movie with somebody, whoever wants to do a commentary with me. So hopefully we can get that out. Thanks again for joining me, Connor. And hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments what your favorite Christmas movies are. And we'll talk to you real soon. See you later, guys.